To this edition of Chalked Up, this is going to be a 4-part bracket. So we're going to have the South region, of course, this first video. Second video that will come out will be the West, then the East, then the Midwest. And when we finish with the Midwest, that will contain our Final Four as well. So, just to keep it simple, easy, not super long and bore you all day, that's why we're doing this in 4 parts, so we can explain just a little bit longer. But we're going to go ahead and get right into this with the South. There are some games that we will talk about in every video that have upset potential due to injuries, and those could be changed on our board due to injuries. So just understand that. McGhee, you got anything that you want to say?
I think you covered it all.
All right. Starting in the South, where we have our number 1 team, Auburn, and I mean, no explanation there. I don't see a 16 seed winning or beating Auburn this year.
Nope.
The next game I would like to come back to. I still always go back and forth on it. The next game, Michigan, UCSD. I'm going Michigan. They were red hot in the Big Ten tournament. I think they will continue that momentum going into March Madness. Another thing is that UCSD went like 30-4 or something like that. Don't get hyped up over the record. Michigan's a good team.
Yeah, and they also have probably the best big duo in the country with Golden and Wolf, and those two, when they're playing together and they're playing good, they're unstoppable. And I don't think San Diego can stop them.
Agreed. This is our second SEC matchup right here, where we have A&M out of the SEC going up against Yale. A lot of people are going to think, oh my gosh, it's the SEC, they were the powerhouse. Choose all SEC to win first round. I disagree with that. I like Yale here. I've never really cared for A&M throughout the year. Yale is big bodies. They have a bunch of big bodies. They're going to crash off that board really well compared to A&M, and I think that is what will help them strive to win.
I've been back and forth on this game. I mean, A&M has Wade Taylor, and they're a very physical team. But Yale, not quite as physical, but they also have a dangerous shooter. I forget his name already, but he could go off for 30, and that's what he did against Auburn last year. But I think I'm going to have to stick with A&M just because of the physical play, and they have the better guard play.
All right. Next game down. By the way, that is my first upset that we have here. Looking off of trends, and I'll do another separate quick video for this where I'll go over trends and explain how I chose my bracket. And the reason is the trends over the years. It's been 6 upsets, 8 upsets, 10, 11, 7, then 9 over the last 7 years. I averaged it out, 8 upsets, so that's my first one, and I will have 8 exactly. And right here will be my second one, where I think UNC does win that first 4 game. Ole Miss haven't been high on them at all this year. 6 seed is a little too high for me. For Ole Miss, they should have been at least a 7 or 8, but that's okay. I mean, you can't help where the committee puts teams, and I think UNC is also on a very, very hot roll right now. And usually we have that one team coming out of Dayton that lights it on fire. So I think UNC will be the team.
Yeah, I agree. I think, either one of those teams who wins that first 4 games is going to beat Ole Miss, but I also think it'll be UNC.
Up next, this is kind of a pivotal upset potential just due to the fact of injuries off of Iowa State. I don't think Lipscomb is good enough of a team to do it, but if you feel it in your heart to choose Lipscomb over Iowa State due to injuries, go ahead, do it. I wouldn't be mad with your decision, but Iowa State's just too deep.
Yeah, they're way too deep. Keshawn Gilbert is out for the tournament. Taman Lipsey's questionable to return, but I think he'll probably play. But they also have a really dangerous player in Curtis Jones who can light it up at any time. So I think that'll be enough to beat Lipsey.
up next, we have Marquette, New Mexico. This is another game that's very pivotal, according to people out there that I watch. I love Camp Jones on Marquette. He's unreal, but I really like Donovan Dent on New Mexico, Mountain West Player of the Year. I mean, he carries that team, and honestly, I think he has enough to carry New Mexico over Marquette alone.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point, but I'll have to go with Marquette. I think, also Donovan Dent is a very good player, but Cam Jones is one of the most dangerous players in the country, and he has more options surrounding him. And they have the better coach, Shaka Smart, more experience. I just think that helps Marquette move on in this game.
Of course. And then the last game here in the South will be Michigan State Bryant. This is a fun 15-2 upset. I'm not going to do it, but if you did it, I could understand why. Bryant's a very good team with Earl, what's his last name? I have it written down over here. Earl Timberlake. Earl Timberlake alone is really good for Bryant. He's kind of like their big guy that carries their team. But Michigan State is too deep again. I think Michigan State will beat Bryant. But once again, if you did choose this 15-seed upset, I wouldn't be upset with your pick.
Yep, I agree.
Then we go to the Louisville-Creighton one. This is where I'm having a tough time because Creighton's a good team, but they haven't they haven't really shown me anything throughout the season. They were kind of the most disappointing that I've seen them in a while. They turned it on in the Big East tournament, but I feel like that doesn't give me enough to say, hey, y'all are going to do great in this tournament. Louisville has just been pretty solid all year, and it's in Lexington. It's in their home state. I think the crowd will be insane, so I think Louisville can pull this one out. If Creighton was better throughout the season and the tournament, it would have given me more of a justification to choose Creighton over Louisville.
I still think Creighton's going to win. I mean, their best point scorer during the year was injured early, and they still had a pretty good year. I think they only had 10 losses, so it wasn't that bad of a season. It could have been even better if I don't remember who it was, what his name was. If he didn't get injured, they would have been a whole lot better. But I still think Creighton moves on in this one. I just think they have more options offensively. They have the best player out of this game is Ryan Kalkbrenner. I don't think Louisville has anyone to check him in the paint. And Stephen Ashworth is a dangerous shooter. He can line it up at any time, and I just think that's enough. And I don't think this game will be really close either, because other than Chucky Hepburn on Louisville, they don't have many options.
I agree with you on that. I completely agree. I just think that the being basically a home game advantage is what gets me. Then we move on to our second round here in the South. Auburn, Louisville. Auburn's just too good. I think we both have Auburn, but once again, that crowd will be crazy.
Yeah.
Moving on down, Michigan, Yale. When it comes to 13 seeds over the last 7 years, not one has made it past the second round, so give me Michigan.
I like Michigan over A&M here, just because I think it was a close one in the first round for A&M, so I think Michigan can. Their big ball play can definitely help them. Even though this will be a close game, because A&M's guards can probably handle the Michigan guards, but the big play is going to be the difference. And I think Michigan, they're playing really good right now, so I think that'll carry them through this game.
All right. Yeah, you have a tougher game to choose between, honestly. So I think mine was pretty easy to choose. Moving on to the third game in the second round, UNC versus Iowa State. I just think, once again, it's that Dayton team. They're going to go on a run. Give me UNC.
Yeah, this game right here I've been going back and forth on this one too. I don't know. I mean, UNC, they're really not that good.
Now, let me say this really quick. If San Diego State wins, obviously we're recording tonight or today on the 18th. They play tonight. If San Diego State wins, that's going to completely change for me. They will still be Ole Miss. Sorry, my charger came loose. I can't get it back in. Technical difficulties. If San Diego State wins, they will still beat Ole Miss, but they will not beat Iowa State.
I'll have to go with Iowa State for now. I just think they have the better players and they have a deeper team out of both of those two.
Yeah. Alrighty. And then the last game, when it comes down to 10 seeds over the past 7 years, we've had 10 move on out of the first round. 9 of those only made it to the second round. 1 of them made it all the way to the Elite Eight. That doesn't give me enough justification to choose Donovan Dent over the Spartans, so give me Michigan State.
You know, we got a rematch here from a couple years ago in the tournament where Michigan State won as the lower seed, actually. This year, roles are reversed, and I think Michigan State gets it done again.
Alrighty. Then we move on to our Elite Eight. Nope, sorry, Sweet 16, sorry. Where we have Auburn versus Michigan, and I think Auburn could slip up here, but I don't think they will. I think they are just too deep of a team. Give me Auburn over Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, they're not playing the best basketball right now, but I just don't think Michigan has enough, but they could definitely cause some trouble, but I'll have to go with Auburn.
And then finally right here, when we look at 11 seeds over the year, it's quite crazy. We've had 14 in the last 7 years make it out of the first round. 6 of them were stopped in the second. 4 of them were stopped in the Sweet 16, which is where we are. 1 was stopped in the Elite Eight, and 3 of them made it all the way to the Final Four. Based off of trends that I'm going off of, it seems like every year there is at least one of these 11 teams to get stopped in the second round. And this year I have 2 of them. And I don't think this is the one that gets stopped in the second round. I think UNC is just on a hot roll. They're kind of like that NC State team last year that won 5 games in, 5 games in 5 days? Is that what it was?
Made the Final Four.
Or 5 games in 5 weeks. I forget what it was. But either way, it was unreal. I think UNC is kind of like that same NC State team. They came out of Dayton and they go on a run all the way to the Elite Eight.
You know, I'm going to go back real quick. I'm going to put the 11 seed to the Sweet 16, but I still think Michigan State has enough to get past either one of those teams. They're just defensively sound, very balanced offense, and I don't think any of those teams can do much damage to Michigan State. But I will pick them over Iowa State. I want to go back to that one.
Alrighty. And then we make it to the Elite Eight. Do we see another NC State rerun where they go to the Final Four? I think not. Auburn is just they're really good. It's so hard to pick against Auburn. If I picked against Auburn, believe it or not, it would be that Louisville game right there, just because of the crowd, because of the home court advantage. So for that reason, Auburn, just if they make it past Louisville, I think they make it all the way.
Now here, Auburn is known for choking in the tournament.
They are.
Look at them last year. And that was against Tom Izzo. It's scary. He always has good game plans.
He does.
I could see Auburn losing this one. I really could. But I just don't think the offensive talent is enough for Michigan State in this one. But I'm considering it. But for now, I'll go Auburn.
Alrighty. So that's going to be our South bracket. Anything that we need to take away or change here? The only thing that I would change is, once again, if San Diego State wins, they lose to Iowa State for me. And it's almost a little bit of a chalky Sweet 16 for me, but not quite. Other than that, I'm pretty confident on all my picks. Like I said, if you took the Louisville over Auburn, I would totally understand. Other than that, I think I like mine. We just got to figure out this UNC San Diego State, and we will have a revised video that will come out based off of injuries and the first 4. think, McGhee? You agree with yours?
I'm still pretty hesitant on this Iowa State and the play-in second round matchup. But I'll keep it for now. If I need to revise it, I will. But that's what I'm going to go with for right now.
All right. Well, that was the South region. We will have another video out for you. Stay tuned for the West region. See ya.